Good afternoon, Sir David Adjaye. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
So we're celebrating Carifesta 15 this year, and we're bringing all the diaspora together to celebrate Caribbean culture in music, dance, fashion, style. And this year it's the architectural designs. So at Botanical Gardens, we're going to have the pavilion, and there was a competition that was held there. And I'm so excited to see who was chosen. The first question I'm going to ask you is, what does Carifesta mean to you and Barbados?
Well, Barbados is a jewel in the garland of islands that make the Caribbean, and Barbados is a destination which is really a profound. It's for me, it's a nexus, it's a junction where so many things have crossed, so many worlds have interacted, and there's a spirit of the Caribbean there that is just moving and inspiring, so Carifest happening there makes so much sense. It's a celebration of this incredible history, but also a way of looking to the future, which I really love.
I love that. And how does the pavilion matter to you in this regard for Carifesta? What is the significance for you?
You know what I love about when this pavilion commission was inaugurated and started, and well, now that we're going to build the first one, I just think that in what I would call Black culture, we don't celebrate enough about what we make. We are always celebrating other people's achievements in the built environment. We're always admiring other people's environments, and I think one step at a time. What this pavilion really talks about is the way in which our cultures can influence the way in which architecture is made and the stories about architecture. And this pavilion is the beginning of claiming that history, that lost, what I call that lost knowledge that is not understood in the general canon of architectural language. For me, it is a way of Carifest celebrating new generations that are going to use this knowledge to build our future, and it's a way of also acknowledging, the histories that are present that people don't see. What I love about the pavilion that we've chosen is that it really looked very deeply at Barbados and the history.
I love that word storytelling for sure, because as you are passing down that architectural design, storytelling is the beginning of somebody's story or the ending of somebody's story. And although you're passing it down, you're now creating this new story through Carifesta. So that's awesome. That's awesome. What impressed you the most about the winning design?
The winning design really touched me because, something I'm very much been for in my own work, but also generally just looking at architecture, contemporary architecture that's evolving around the world, was the way in which I find a lot of energy and warmth from work which doesn't just choose fashionable shapes and forms, but really tries to understand the histories of places, but also understands the science and technologies of our times, and marries the two so that there's a continuity. For me, I love work that doesn't have to mimic the past, but has a continuity and a way of understanding the past to make a brave new future.
I love that. And I believe that the winning design had to have some elements of Barbadian culture and style and innovation. Are you aware or abreast as to what Barbadian culture was in the winning design? Like, what stood out to you the most?
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot. This idea of the gathering house, the idea of the pavilion that is made from the storm shutters that channel the cool breezes, but also kind of, get rid of the rain, shed the rain very elegantly. And, that is an element that is in architecture, that is seen as a component. But what this pavilion did was that it cleverly used that little detail, which we see as something that goes in the wall, to actually make a whole. In architecture, this idea that you take something which seems like nothing, but then you transform it into something that then has a dignity and a kind of nobility and an elegance is one of the hardest things to do. So it struck me very much as a very poetic and powerful lamentation on the beauty of the island and its architecture and its place.
That's beautiful. This is a personal question for me. And the last question, are there any African and Caribbean elements that have been combined in the winning pavilion, the winning art that you see or feel connected to?
Yes, no, I think that all the shortlisted projects have some relationship to what I call African histories and knowledge. And each one touches also the Caribbean, and by direct result, by touching the Caribbean, also touching Africa, because the histories are interconnected, they're not disconnected. Caribbean history and African history are continuations of Black stories around the world, right? And so for me, the pavilion, this idea of round chambers, it speaks to, African architecture of West Africa, the dwelling as a kind of cosmos, as a womb, as a collector, not as a piece of, capitalist construction, but also the idea of, Bajan architecture, understanding shelter, space, how to protect on this island and create, safety and respite, but also joy. I think that he manages to marry both worlds, this idea of ovoid architecture, which we've lost because of the way in which we build, and, the kind of lessons of the time in the Caribbean and what that represents. So these two worlds have come together in this pavilion, and he's created a proportion that makes it very noble. It's neither a house, nor is it a structure from another place. It is a new form that is born from the knowledge of the two things. So it becomes very specifically for me, a Bajan structure that really speaks to an idea of one reading of what can happen from this knowledge to make future architecture. It's just one reading, but it's a very, very beautiful one.
Wow, so lovely. You're so eloquent. So good. I feel inspired by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Such a pleasure. It's really wonderful to speak to you.
Are you going to be here for Carifesta?
I'm working on it. I would love to be.
I need to take your brain a little bit more.
I'm working on it. I will let you know as soon as I am. But so great. Enjoy the celebrations, and I'm spiritually there. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.